He came in after we were finished with the shooting.
Right here in the front. Wait for the mic.
Well, I'll give a question for Tracy and John to talk about the process of transferring and transforming this from the play to the film, because there's some distinct differences. And then I'd like to ask any or all of you on the stage to talk about, this is a very weighty play, very weighty movie, and you've done a lot of weighty roles. How does this fit into the scale of, particularly Meryl, fit into the scale of those roles that have been so heavy and deal with such emotional transition? But I'd like to first hear from you guys.
Well, I can tell you that, you know, it was very important to us that we tried to preserve the humor of the piece. You know, I always sort of felt that in some ways the secret of the success of August Osage County was the humor, and that quite often when plays are turned into films, the humor is lost. Even when the films are still good. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Glengarry Glen Ross, right? I've done both of these plays, and they're outrageous comedies, but the movies become a gloomier affair, and they lose a lot of the humor. And I said to John early on, if that happens with August, we're dead, because you hear everybody up here talking about the pain that a lot of these characters are going through, and all that stuff is very real, it's very true, it's what the piece is about. But that's, while it may be difficult for the actors to live in, the truth is it would be impossible for an audience to watch were it not for the humor. The humor is really what sort of hooks you in, and as long as you're laughing, you're listening. And so John and I were, both of us, very assiduous about making sure that we didn't talk about it in terms of the laughs, but we talked about maintaining a certain buoyancy and rhythm, I think, that would still allow for audience laughter. And as I've seen it now a couple of times with large auditoriums of audience, it seems to be working. So I'm happy about that.
Meryl, I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, that was my real fear when we first started screening the film would anybody laugh? And the tremendous relief when they start to is great. And in every, one of the things, Jean Dumanian, I think maybe here is one of our producers, and produced the play on Broadway, and she gave me access to the videoed version of the play, which is in the archives at Lincoln Center, and I sat there with a copy of the play and a highlighter, and I highlighted before Tracy and I first met every single laugh in the Broadway play, and in our cutting of the piece, we literally only cut 2 spots that had laughs. We saved every single laugh, and for exactly that reason, the humor is what allows